This segment is actually about jumpsuits.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it was anything else.
But it's not, actually. We are talking decorating today. Jordan is here from RodWorks. And if you have a mantle or an entryway,
yeah, it's
you
kind
need
of the same rules for either one, or guidelines, I should say. Yeah.
Okay, but there are some rules.
Yes.
You want us to learn.
Some things to follow just to help you, to make it easier.
The first one you say is measurements.
Yes.
We need to figure out what those are.
Take measurements. There's nothing worse than when you are trying to decorate a space. You go in, buy things, take it home, and it doesn't fit. I am not about that. I hate returning, trying. If you just take measurements, go into a store,
get out your measuring tape.
Get out your measuring tape.
Okay.
And pick items that you know are going to fit there. So you just can take it home and know it's already going to work.
And what are we measuring? Are we measuring the space?
Mostly
are we
the
measuring
depth. Like when you're doing a mantle, sometimes it just seems like you have more space than what you actually do. It may be hard to layer like this if you only have, a small amount of space. Where your table, you do have more depth, so you can layer things a little bit more.
Right, so you need to make sure and measure this way as you've measured other ways.
Yeah, and the length too, just so you have enough items to fill the space.
All right, you talk about a focal point.
A focal point. So above a mantle, you want a piece that you love, a statement piece that you're gonna walk into a room and that's the first thing you see. So that could be a clock, a mirror, wall art. I picked a sign today. So normally on a mantle, this would be hanging on the wall, and then you'd have your items below. But this would be a perfect way to do an entryway table with just a sign or something behind it.
I've seen a lot of these lately with something that says something, and I love reading it.
I love this one,
I do too.
Especially too, because it says love grows in little houses. I love that too. It's a fun sign.
All right, the next one, odd numbers. You want to put odd numbers up there together.
Yes, odd numbers are more appealing to the eye. It adds depth to your vignette, I guess. And it just, if something looks off, that's usually why. If you just have two of something, it just feels like something is missing. So things in 3s, 5s, 7s are the best way to go. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out items.
And does it matter how many items are on the table? You just want to make sure you sort of group them in those odd numbers.
I would say your groupings in odd numbers, yes.
And I love what you brought up here because there's different textures too of the odd numbered things.
Yes, yeah. So also when you're shopping, keep in mind, bring in woods, metals, glass. Always bring in greenery. That's another thing that if we didn't have the floral or the greenery, it would not look finished. Well, it just adds a good touch.
RodWorks has the fake
best
greenery that looks so real that I'm not going to kill.
Right, and same for me.
Yeah, because I kill it all.
100%, yep. Do not have a green thumb.
Versus asymmetrical.
Okay, so I'm more of a symmetrical decorator. I like things to look identical on the sides, but some people prefer an asymmetrical look. So this display, I would say, is more symmetrical. We have identical items on each side. But to do an asymmetrical vignette, you would put, like your focal point would be off-center.
Oh, okay.
And you could have different items. You wouldn't be picking out the same things to put on both ends of the table.
All right, and then the last one is variation.
Yeah, variation, kind of like we touched on. Just bring in other textures, sizes, shapes. You don't want things to be the same height, right? So when you're looking at it, if you have things layered, you want to be able to see the candlestick.
Mix it up, right, Jordan?
Yes.
Okay, you have a summer sale happening at RodWorks right now.
It's starting today, and tomorrow you get 20% off one item, and then all of our 4th of July items are 30% off starting today.
Ooh, this is the best time to go and do a little bit
Come in and freshen up your space.
Redecorating.
Yeah.
Jordan, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Fry, what's coming up next?
Well, we've got